This Saturday from Glasgow, Scotland, WWE presents Clash at the Castle at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. And this card looks very juicy, maybe the best card on the WWE docket since WrestleMania 40. And this card will set up the WWE SummerSlam storyline. With that being said, let's get started with a preview, and let's start with the hometown from Scotland, Piper Niven. No, not Drew McIntyre, not Abba Fire and Dawn. We're talking about Piper Niven, and she will challenge alongside Chelsea Green in her corner for the WWE Women's Championship against the Hugger Bailey. Of course, her first championship defense on the premium live event stage was against Tiffany Stratton as well as Naomi at Backlash. This is her second defense on the stage against Piper Niven. And again, this match is going to be pretty good. You know, Piper Niven will have some near falls here and there. Chelsea Green will entertain us on the outside. But I do not believe that Chelsea Green is going to win the WWE Women's Championship here. I think, Will Bailey may have to give her a Bailey to belly and a Rose plant to win. Potentially, I don't know if that's the case. I think, after a back and forth encounter, Piper Niven may go for that splash. She misses. Bailey is the Rose plant. Bailey retains 1, 2, 3 as they're setting up Bailey and Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam. I will say, Piper Niven, her last one-on-one championship match in WWE was the Royal Rumble 2022 against Becky Lynch when she was still going as Doudrop. So it's been a long time for Niven, and she does have some talent in the ring. She adds kind of a tremendous promo like she did last Friday on SmackDown, talking about her family, and she does play this role of being the bully well. And her and Chelsea Green have been a nice tag team, and it's a good spot for her to get a match on this stage. The next match we'll talk about is a very personal rivalry featuring Chad Gable and that disgusting Gable who turned on Sami Zayn that night in Montreal, Sami Zayn's hometown, when Sami Zayn beat him for the Intercontinental Championship. The same Chad Gable that helped impress Sami Zayn to defeat Gunther at WrestleMania 40, the same Gunther that Gable could not defeat. Gable has now lost his mind, and the Alpha Academy is breaking down, and Otis and Maxine do three, and Akira Tozawa will be there to watch their master try to defeat Sami Zayn. And this match could go one or two ways. The way I see it, Chad Gable could walk out the Intercontinental Champion. Now, there are various reports out there about his contract signing, and, Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, who knows everything. Yeah, not really. But he reports that if Chad Gable wins the Intercontinental Championship, it means he resigned. If not, it means he's probably a free agent. Yeah, I don't believe that baloney at all. For the record, I don't believe Chad Gable is going anywhere. I think WWE has valued Chad Gable ever since Triple H has taken over the booking completely. He has booked Chad Gable better than Gable has ever been booked, arguably in WWE, even going back to his American Alpha days with Jason Jordan. But I wasn't sure how this Gable heel turn was going to go, but Gable was an incredible heel. Otis has been an incredible supplemental baby face who, got a mega push in 2020, but it was mostly derailed due to the COVID pandemic. Even though he won Money in the Bank, his connection was with the fans, and without the fans there, Otis wasn't the same. Now Otis, who's gone for a transformation, obviously, with Gable. Alpha Academy's been around now for a few years. Now Otis seems to finally be getting that push again, and I think he will turn on Chad Gable. Now the question here is going to be, does he turn on Gable after the match, or does he turn on Gable during the match? Basically, does WWE want Chad Gable versus Otis to be an Intercontinental Championship feud? And I think, there's a lot of mid-card wrestlers on the WWE roster that can use a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. I think Sami Zayn needs to move on to something else. I think Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental Championship, maybe in some open challenges, would make for better TV. And I also think the fact that Gable would have 5 Intercontinental Championship matches, in the past year and never winning the big one could lead into a bigger story here with Otis. So I'm gonna say Otis turns on Gable during the match. I think the entire Alpha Academy will also eventually turn on Gable, as Gable will then align himself with Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers. They'll create Alpha Academy 2.0, the new Alpha Academy, whatever you want to call it. And we will get that feud over the course of the summer. And therefore, I don't think Gable needs a championship for that to happen. I think Sami Zayn will win. I think Otis will turn on Gable eventually. Big pop from the Scotland crowd. Haluva kick by Sami puts away Chad Gable. Then we've got a triple threat match between the Holy Union of Fire and Dawn, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And there is a thought out there for me that WWE is using this triple threat as a way for one of the Holy Union or Baszler and Stark to win the championships without Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill getting pinned. That way they can go into the breakup and we can do Jade versus Bianca on the big stage at SummerSlam. And while that's certainly possible, to me, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and Holy Union, especially who have really only been on TV now for the past couple weeks because there's a premium live event in Scotland and they want to get the two wrestlers on their own town on the big stage. They don't really have enough momentum to carry the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And even though WWE has done a better job at building up the women's tag team divisions on both brands as of late, I still think there's potential there for Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell to get their full heel turn in and win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships eventually from Bianca and Jade, who I think will go into a feud, but I don't think it's the right time. I think there's so much going on both brands. I think we already have, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley potentially set for SummerSlam. I think we already have, Nia Jax and Bayley set for SummerSlam. So for those reasons, I think Bianca will hit some KODs. I think Jade will hit some Jadeds. I'm gonna say that Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark take the fall because they don't want Holy Union taking the fall in their hometown, and Bianca and Jade retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and again, what should be a fun triple threat match. Then we get to the I Quit match where AJ Styles did his best Mark Henry impersonation. And boy, was it good because he sold me for a few seconds. There's been a lot of talk lately over the past year about AJ Styles' retirement, and he did the best job at making it believable. But then turning on Cody Rhodes to get one more match at the Undisputed Championship. And this is arguably the most ruthless AJ Styles we've seen since he's been in WWE. Maybe the most ruthless AJ Styles during his career. You can tell how desperate he is, that he hasn't been, WWE champion in 6 years, and he knows that time is winding down in his career. So this is what he has to do. He has to make Cody Rhodes quit to win the Undisputed Championship. And I don't think anybody in the world truly thinks that AJ Styles is going to make Cody Rhodes quit. There's no way in hell Cody Rhodes utters those words. And we all know Cody Rhodes is going to entertain. But name me a bad I Quit match in WWE history because you cannot find one. This is going to be a chaotic match. There's going to be weapons all over the ring. There's going to be fighting in the ring, fighting at ringside, fighting on the stage, potentially fighting in the crowd. The OC is going to get involved. What I'm really interested to see is how they make AJ Styles quit because Cody Rhodes is going to have to go to a different place. And we've started to see this over the last couple weeks on SmackDown where he's wanted to tear AJ Styles apart. But I don't think it's going to be a normal submission. I think Cody Rhodes is going to have to threaten to throw AJ Styles off a platform or something very, very dangerous, light him on fire even. I don't know what he's gonna have to do, but AJ Styles is a very prideful man. Cody Rhodes is not a very vengeful man. He doesn't have a lot of submissions. So I'm more interested in this match in the finish. I think it's gonna be very entertaining. I think we're gonna see some great spots. And if it's anything like their match in Leon at Backlash, we are in for a hell of a show. And finally, we have to get to the main event, which I believe will be the main event. There are some thoughts out there that Cody and AJ could be the main event, but I think in this man's hometown, Drew McIntyre from Air Scotland with the Judgment Day banned, or I should say, as Pat McAfee would say, the bum-ass Judgment Day banned from ringside. He goes up against Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. And as a side note, when it comes to Monday Night Raw, I don't feel as much this way about SmackDown right now, but I told a non-wrestling buddy the other night that this past Monday Night on Raw, it really did feel like a sitcom. You got the old Judgment Day thing going on with Braun Strowman. You got the old Judgment Day thing going on with Drew McIntyre. You got the old Liv Dominic Mysterio storyline. You got everything going on with Gable and the Creed brothers and Alpha Academy. And, all of these stories are separate, but they're intertwined with each other. It's like a well-written sitcom. And so there's potential here for Liv Morgan to come out and mess with Damian Priest. Even though the Judgment Day is banned from ringside, do they appear? There is certainly a possibility. But I think that stipulation by McIntyre when he Claymored Finn Balor to get Damian Priest one-on-one for the World Heavyweight Championship sets the stage for CM Punk. And even though CM Punk may get booed in Drew's hometown of Scotland, and that crowd is going to want McIntyre to win that belt in Scotland. And at this point in the night, again, Holy Union did not win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Piper Niven did not win the WWE Women's Championship. So a Scotland wrestler has not won a championship to this point in the night. I do think that at the end of the day, Drew McIntyre will hit a Claymore. CM Punk will appear. CM Punk will cost McIntyre the match. This will lead to Damian Priest retaining by probably a South of Heaven chokeslam. We get Priest and Gunther at SummerSlam in Cleveland, as well as CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in a very non-title personal feud. And of course, all five matches, I should say, at Clash of the Castle are for a championship. And ironically, I don't think any of them are changing hands. I think the one that could change hands is Gable and Zayn, which, if you think about it, you have 5 championship matches. If none of them change hands, that seems unlikely. So I'm probably wrong at one of my predictions. But one of the things that I like about this McIntyre Priest match is they've been really building this, ever since Survivor Series War Games 7 months ago. McIntyre and Priest have not been on the same page all this time. And so we know this is a personal rivalry, even though it's heel versus heel. These guys have been ready to throw down for months. McIntyre wants his revenge from Priest cashing in on him at WrestleMania. I think he thinks he's going to get it, and CM Punk is going to stand in his way. And my last prediction here is that Uncle Howdy will not show up, because I do think Uncle Howdy is going to appear on the June 17th edition of Monday Night Raw, and I can't wait to see that storyline kick off and how WWE enhances Bray Wyatt's legacy. So with that being said, to recap, here are my WWE Clash of the Castle 2024 predictions. I do have Bayley retaining the WWE Women's Championship over Piper Niven. I have Sami Zayn retaining the Intercontinental Championship against Chad Gable, with Otis and Alpha Academy turning on Gable. I have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill winning the triple threat for the Women's Tag Team Championships against Baszler and Starks, as well as Holy Union. I have Cody Rhodes making AJ Styles say I quit by threatening to throw him off a building or a platform of some sort. And I have CM Punk returning, costing Drew McIntyre the match, as Damian Priest retains the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event. Yes, that means that all 4 Scottish wrestlers involved will not walk out with a championship on Saturday. Clash of the Castle 2022 was one of my favorite WWE events in the Triple H era, one of my favorite WWE events in recent modern day history. I love the name, I love the logo, I love this card. I think the Scotland crowd is going to be great, and I cannot wait to see it all go down on Saturday. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.